Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Georgia because I've had a couple people ask, hey, what do you think is going to happen there as far as the election? I don't have a clue because Georgia has some very unique dynamics at play. It has dynamics that aren't really at play in other states. And in many ways, the dynamics from one race are going to impact or might impact the dynamics in other races. We've talked about unlikely voters. When polls are done, polls are generally conducted of whatever the pollster thinks a likely voter is. But because of the polarization that has occurred here, there might be a lot of people voting who may not normally. And in Georgia, you have a situation where you have people who may vote in a way that they wouldn't normally vote. Let's talk about the very bizarre situation that the MAGA faithful find themselves in there. They don't want Abrams. They do not want Abrams, okay? But they also don't want Kemp. Kemp, to most Americans, he did something that should be at least somewhat respected. He stood up to Trump during the pressure campaign when Trump was trying to, overturn the election. To the MAGA crowd, that's not something that's respectable. This is the guy who sold Trump out. And if he had, done what Trump wanted him to do, if he had kind of caved in that pressure campaign, if Georgia fell, other states might have. And we might have President Trump still. The MAGA crowd has to know that. Now, they may show up to vote for Walker, but I would imagine more than one is going to throw their vote to the Libertarian candidate or something, because they're just not going to be able to bring themselves to vote for Kemp. These are people that have proven themselves to be very vindictive. And even though Trump hasn't been constantly attacking Kemp, the MAGA crowd, it's not like they don't break with him occasionally. Y'all remember when Trump did the, socially responsible thing and suggested people get vaccinated, all right? They booed him. I don't have any predictions about Georgia because I think there are things that might upset the polling there. Generally, I'm a huge believer in the polls because they're normally right. But there are a lot of unique dynamics at play this year. So I have questions about quite a few of them, Georgia being one, because I have no idea how the MAGA faithful is going to respond. Are they even really going to show up for Walker? We know they cheer for him on social media, but there's also that other thing that most MAGA Republicans don't like. I don't know that they're going to show up for him, not in numbers, and I don't know that they'll vote for Kemp. I don't have a clue on this one, other than I would expect some surprises. We don't know what the polling is going to be right before the election. But I would imagine unlikely voters who decide to vote and MAGA Republicans not voting the way people would expect, I would imagine that's at least a point. I don't know if it's going to matter, but it could. So I'm going to kind of hold my tongue on this, other than to acknowledge that I think there might be a surprise or two here. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.